Much.
Well, 4 million people have now fled Ukraine for neighbouring countries since the start of the war, according to the latest figures from the UN Refugee Agency. Poland has taken in more than 2 million Ukrainians. Let's talk to our correspondent, Kasia Madera, who's in the city of Lublin for us this morning. Kasia, since the beginning, you have seen from the border in Poland and you've seen kind of people coming over desperate just for some kind of help. What's happening in Lublin?
Well, the bell's going, so the classes are about to start. This is a primary school in the centre of Lublin, and this is a real snapshot of what is happening across this country. Lots of children from refugee families are being brought into schools like this, integrated into the community. The population of this school has risen by 10%, so imagine that, 2 extra classes of kids like this who are now ingrained within the school community. And I've got to say, breakfast, welcome to Breakfast Club. I've been dying to say that. These are all the children who are just queuing up very patiently and very loudly to start their day. What is phenomenal about what's happening in this school is that they are bringing in teachers who just a few weeks ago were refugees themselves. Tatiana has just started, this is her first day teaching at this school, and she's just started, and imagine that, 2 weeks ago she was crossing the border herself with her family. Today she is joining the staff community, the teaching community here at this school. Tatiana, hello, good morning. It's your first day, how are you feeling?
Bardzo dobrze. Czuję się potrzebną, to najważniejsze, tak przydatną tutaj.
So I'm going to do a little bit of translation work here. Tatiana's feeling good, she's feeling very welcomed, and she's feeling needed because there are a lot of kids here who, of course, Polish isn't their first language. I talk about how similar Polish and Ukrainian is in terms of the spoken language, very, very different when it comes to the written language. And imagine all those kids that I witnessed coming across the border who were very quiet, very traumatized at the beginning of this war. They're here now and they're just bubbling, full of energy. So just going back to speak to Tatiana, you're going to start, you're being paid to do this. You're a teacher back in Ukraine and you're being paid to do this. Będzie pani płacona, żeby być tutaj nauczycielką i to jest bardzo ważne.
Tak, jest to płacona, jest fundacja, która jest finansowana, nie wiem, ale jakiś urząd międzynarodowy i opłata stanowi za godzinę 25 zł. To nie jest źle dla Polski w ogóle, no i tak jak tutaj w ogóle jakby przyjechałam z 3 torebkami, to bardzo ważne dla mnie jest. A będę dostawać opłaty na końcu każdego tygodnia, to też ważne, no bo trzeba kupować jedzenie.
No, oczywiście. And this is the real practical elements of what it means to come, to flee your country, to come to a new country. Tatiana was just describing how she's going to be paid a salary to work here. She was a teacher in Ukraine, she had to leave her home, she's now working in this school. It's embraced itself, a huge group of NGOs, the local municipal government, and also lots and lots of volunteers enabling something like this to happen. So Tatiana will be beginning to start her day, her first day at school. Breakfast Club moving on, a few of the kids here remaining. They'll be going on to other activities, but it's a busy school, and imagine the whole population of this school has risen by 10%, 2 classes of kids. The population of Lublin has risen by 10%. So many people coming in. They want to stay near to Ukraine because they do want to go back to their country eventually. But when that will happen, it's an uncertainty. So it's those practical help that people need. And this is a cash for work scheme that means that people like Tatiana can earn money, can support their families here, can also help their families still back at home, because something that Tatiana was telling me is that her husband is, of course, still back in Ukraine. But this is a snapshot of what is happening in Lublin, and this is repeated across this country. People really welcoming in refugees into Poland, integrating into the community here.
It's fantastic to see, Kasia, obviously born out of tragedy and awful events, but it's fantastic to see people getting up and about. It's gone quiet. Have all the kids gone now? They left the Breakfast Club?
I think I started speaking, and they had the cue. They heard it was breakfast club on breakfast, and they went, and they are now starting their day, because of course it starts a little bit earlier here. There are a few kids here remaining who'll be moving on in a minute, and music lessons start here in a moment, so I will really need to be quiet. But yeah, breakfast club over for the time being. Back to you, breakfast.
I'm glad you got to say it, Kasia. I know you delighted in that. Thank you.